Good evening. Welcome. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Public for which God individual. I need a motion to accept the agenda. I have a motion from Trustee Johnson. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second from Trustee Hill. Trustee Johnson. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Scholler-Barber.
Yes.
Trustee Payton.
Yes.
Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
And I say yes. Secretary McGlynn, will you please do correspondence?
Attendance.
Oh, attendance, of course.
Sure. All trustees are present, and so is Dr. Slade.
Will you now do correspondence?
Yes. Okay. On May 9th, these are all emails that we've received. On May 9th, we received an email from Calvin Cheatham regarding usage of the tract at Kalamazoo Central. Dr. Slade and I replied. On May 22nd, Kim Kirschman sent us an invitation to for the KILP graduation. I replied. On May 30th, Diego Sandoval sent us an email requesting the El Sol mural be preserved, and I replied. On June 1st, Refugee Education Center sent an email inviting the board to attend Popsicles in the Park, and I replied. On June 1st, Susan O'Connor sent an email requesting an update on library staffing and buildings, and I replied. On June 1st, Brandy Stiver sent an email inviting the board to attend Millwood 8th grade promotion ceremony. I replied. On the 1st, Sarah Drum sent an email requesting a meetup and eat up site at El Sol. Dr. Slade and I replied. On the June 9th, Henry Snap sent an email requesting policy language to be added to KPS student handbook. I replied. On the 9th, Henry Snap also sent an email requesting information on core teams from the student code of conduct, and I replied. And then on the 9th, Brandy Stiver sent a thank you to the board for attending the 8th grade promotion ceremony, and I replied.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the consent calendar items.
So move.
I have a motion from Trustee Scholler-Barber. I just need a second. Ms. Kaiser.
Thank you, President Harrison. Tonight we have 3 purchase recommendations. The first is request number 2026-50 in the amount of $37,400. And this is for asbestos abatement at Lakewood Valley Center. And this will be funded by the 2022 bond. Next, we have purchase recommendation request 2026-51 in the amount of $80,735.03. And this is to purchase elementary consumable math workbooks. And this is funded by the Instruction Cost Center. Lastly, we have purchase recommendation 2026-52 in the amount of $48,589.49. And this is to purchase Wonders practice books and Wonders handwriting workbooks. And this is also funded by the Instruction Cost Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from the board? Trustee Hill.
I have a question that I think is kind of funny, but it might be good for clarification for those at home. When we talk about consumable math books, what does that pertain to use? How's that used?
Those are workbooks that are used up. They aren't used every year. And perhaps Dr. Justice or Dr. Thomas could give us more detail.
Thank you.
Thank you. They're just the workbooks that go along with the math series. And so students get to take them home at the end of each unit or at the end of the school year.
I have a question about the Lakewood Valley Center. Is that the old Lakewood School?
Yes, it is.
And what is it used for now?
It is rented by KRISA.
Okay.
Trustee Scholler-Barber.
I just shout out because that expense would come out of our general fund for 26-50, and that's $37,000 we can use for other things. So thank you to the people who vote for the bond.
Trustee Johnson. Thank you. So, seeing no more discussion, Trustee McGlynn?
Yes.
Yes, Trustee McGlynn. Oh,
Oh, right.
okay. So now we'll have a roll call vote. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Scholler-Barber?
Yes.
Trustee Payton?
Yes.
Trustee McGlynn?
Yes.
Trustee Hill?
Yes.
And I say yes. Next up is reports and recommendations, and the superintendent report.
Good evening, school board members, community members. I want to first thank all of our students, teachers, parents, all community stakeholders for another great school year. The school year officially ended last week, and again, we're still doing big things in Kalamazoo Public Schools, and I want to thank everybody for a successful school year. I do want to just quickly share some of the activities we have for students to end the school year. We have an assortment of amazing activities that our students participate during the last 2 weeks of school. We have a 5th grade track and field day for all of our 5th grade students, a 2-day event this was at K Central, if I'm correct. All of our 5th grade students participate. I want to thank all the principals and teachers who are there. Students run the 200, 100, shot put, different field events. So, and it's a very fun 2 days for our students, and they really love it. The teachers love it also. We also have another event for 4th and 5th grade students where all of our students go to a Growlers game. They go to the field, they get free food, they participate in different STEM activities. I do want to thank the Growlers organization and everybody who takes part in that. Dr. Miller, Mr. McCain, Dr. Dyson, all of our staff and students. Again, they really enjoyed this annual event, and we had a nice day this year. It really went well. All of our elementary schools have lemonade stand days throughout the school year. Lincoln had one during the last 2 weeks of school, and it's a time when students kind of set up a business where they sell lemonade, and they're trying to see what it's like to be an entrepreneur. Also, just basic finances. I do want to thank Miss Roberts. She had one the last week, and it went very well. But most of our elementary schools have it, and I think it's something that we push in our curriculum. So I do want to thank Dr. Thomas and Dr. Dyson for that. Bronson Party in the Park, that's another annual event where students go down to Bronson Park downtown. We read stories to the students on the screen. We have different staff members read stories. Miss LaSue, our one of our reading directors, Mr. Jackson, our attendance counselor. Students really, really enjoy this activity. It's a great way for us to focus on literacy and encourage students to read more and more. We had, and I shouldn't say this now, but our preliminary data speaks to a major improvement again in our overall attendance rate for elementary, middle, and high schools. We had 2 end of the year attendance activities for elementary school students who demonstrated perfect attendance for like the last 4 or 5 weeks of school. Some of them were able to go to, I think it's Airway Funson is one place. Jungle Joe's is another place that we took students. They really loved the trip. I received multiple emails from teachers, principals, even parents whose students participated. That's something we will do again next year, just to encourage and promote student attendance. I do want to thank all the teachers, even the principals. I know Principal Rocco attended, some other principals attended. Mr. Jackson, our truancy officer, attended. Dr. Dyson, of course, attended. Again, great activity for our students and adults, and we plan on doing more of that next year to continue the improvement with attendance that we're seeing in the district. Also, I want to just congratulate all of our seniors who graduated during the last 2 weeks of school. We had an amazing graduation ceremonies, not just for our seniors. We also had great promotional ceremonies for our 8th graders, our 5th graders, and also some of our kindergartens. Students took part in different ceremonies. So again, we're so happy that our students are doing well. and we hope they do well as they move forward in the future. And again, it's a great way to end the year every year with the graduation ceremonies in the district. Also want to thank the school board, Ms. Jackson, our director of facilities, everybody involved in the ribbon cutting activity today. We opened our new district kitchen. It's something that's been years in the making. The reason we open a new facility is just to make sure that we can continue to improve on the quality of food that we serve. We already serve high quality food, but we want to take it to the next level. So it also makes the food service division more efficient in the district. So I want to thank Ms. Moore, our director of food service, again, Ms. Karen Jackson, who kind of handled the whole thing from the very beginning, and also our board members who attended. Great event today. And I also just want to talk quickly about the upcoming El Sol groundbreaking, which will take place on July 7th. We have a whole lot of new facilities that we're planning and building in the district. And again, as Trustee Shola Barb always talks about, I want to thank our community for passing these bonds, and that allows us to do these great things for our students. We also have an enrollment event tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Career Connect campus. Our goal is to make sure that we enroll all of our students for next year prior to the day before or the week before school. So we're going to have a series of events starting tomorrow. So please come out and make sure and get your student enrolled for next school year. Thank you so much. That concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. At this time, Mrs. Kaiser will do a preliminary budget presentation.
Thank you, President Harrison. So this presentation is the culmination of many months of gathering information regarding future funding, planning, and developing a budget, and it will go over changes to the budget for next year. The budget for 26-27 school year focuses on students and continuing the district's outstanding programs and services, and it reflects a balanced budget. So this chart depicts projected 26-27 budgetary revenues. The district revenues are made up primarily of state revenue. When including property taxes, which are a part of the state aid funding formula, they make up 87.4% of the district's revenues, with KRESA revenue consisting of 10.1% and other revenues of 2.5%. Therefore, we are very dependent on the state aid budget process. This chart shows projected 26-27 budgetary expenditures. 82% of the district expenditures are made up of employee salary and benefits. Contracted services make up 7%, and other expenditures are remaining 10%. As you can see, we are very employee intensive. This is a list of key dates for the state of Michigan's 26-27 preliminary budget. On January 16th, 2026, the January Consensus Revenue Estimating Conference was held, indicating that school aid fund revenues are positive, projecting a 2.3% growth, or $433 million, for the 2026-27 school year, primarily due to higher income tax revenues. On February 11th, 2026, the governor's 26-27 budget proposal was released. On April 21st, 2026, both the House and Senate budget proposals were released. On May 15th, 2026, the May Revenue Estimating Conference was held, showing a slightly upward increase of $79.4 million in the school aid fund for 26-27 from the January conference. However, it should be noted that the state's general fund was projected to have a deficit of about $1 billion. The state general fund deficit could potentially create a problem for the school aid fund, as the state tends to transfer funds to the general fund from the school aid fund to mitigate any deficit. The conference committee, which is currently meeting to resolve differences between the House and Senate versions of the budget bill, but however, they have not issued a final state budget. It is possible that the final state budget may not be released until after the end of our fiscal year, which is June 30th. This is a key reason why we wait until as late as possible to release a budget for the following year so that it reflects the most recent funding information. At the time of budget preparation, the following foundation increases were proposed. The governor's, Senate's, and House's budget proposals all included a 2.5% increase in the per pupil foundation rate, about $250 per pupil to $10,300. This is very unusual that all three proposals were the same. So based on the above, a 2.5% increase in the foundation rate was used for this presentation. So this is a graph of the cumulative per pupil foundation revenue growth as compared to inflation. The red line is the foundation revenue and the blue line is inflation. As you can see, although we are projecting an increase in foundation rate of $250 or 2.5%, the foundation rate growth is still significantly below the rate of inflation. As mentioned during the May Consensus Revenue Estimating Conference, inflation for the state of Michigan is expected to be 3.2% for the upcoming year. So overall, we have lost approximately 34% to inflation over this time period. Significant increases in the price of fuel, along with goods and services, are contributing to budgetary pressures for the upcoming school year. So this is our 26-27 general fund forecast. It is projected that the 25-26 school year will end with a slight budget deficit of $311,000 or 0.14% of budgeted expenditures. To calculate the amount of structural surplus or deficit to carry forward to next year, we need to add back one-time items. This includes one-time additional positions to shadow complex positions for which the incumbents will be retiring at the end of the school year. This includes a network manager and a state count administrator. In addition, 25-26 enrollment was higher than projected by 157 students. Therefore, certain employee groups, depending on negotiated contracts, were eligible for a one-time enrollment bonus. In addition, insurance costs were less than forecast, therefore also triggering one-time payments to employee groups depending on negotiated contracts. After adjusting for these one-time items, this leaves a structural surplus going forward of $52,000. Next are the 2026-27 budget assumptions. As previously mentioned, we are assuming a foundation increase of 2.5% or $250 per pupil, totaling $3,055,000. We are assuming a relatively flat change in enrollment for next year, which includes a modest 5-student increase from the fall of 2025 to the fall of 2026 based on cohort survival. When blended with the February 2026 count, we project a small decrease in blended enrollment of 4.64 FTE. This equates to a decrease of revenue of $48,000. An increase in enhancement millage revenues of $300,000 is included based on a 4.95% increase in taxable values. Projected staffing changes, net of a school center reserve, reflect a decrease of 0.1 FTE or $26,000. Next is a projected increase in health insurance costs of 10%, costing $1,641,000. This is offset by attrition savings, which is the estimated difference between higher paid employees being replaced with a new lower paid employee of $1,047,000. We have also included increases for projected costs for utilities such as electricity, along with contract custodial and grounds costs totaling $337,000. Due to higher fuel costs that are expected to persist through at least the first half of the school year, we are increasing the fuel budget by $165,000. Also, property casualty insurance is projected to increase by $50,000. And our participation in the KRESA Career and Technical Education, along with KRESA Education for the Art costs, are projected to increase by $89,000, primarily due to increased student participation. Lastly, other miscellaneous items total $9,000. So So this slide displays the change in projected retirement revenues and expenses. All three budget proposals included the elimination of one-time MESPER's retirement revenue of $1,256,000 that we received in the 25-26 school year to offset the cost of MESPER's health care. As an offset to this revenue loss, the OPEB normal pension expense is expected to decrease by 2.4%. This applies only to employees in older plans. This is approximately 46% of district employees. This cost reduction is approximately $1,309,000. Lastly, the budget proposals included a slight decrease in Section 147A MESPER's normal cost revenue, which is expected to be approximately $65,000 for KPS. So the net increase in retirement costs is $12,000. Available funds after budget assumptions is $2,129,000. In order to generate funds for new investment, the following budget reductions and transfers were identified. Elimination of a vacant 1.0 receptionist position, savings associated with a full year of funding 0.7 coordinators with Title IIA funds. These grant funds were originally threatened to be cut in 25-26, but funding was eventually restored. Reduction of various general fund programs in the elementary, secondary, instruction, and student services cost centers. These costs are eligible for funding with at-risk funds, which I will discuss later in the presentation. In addition, 3 multilingual program teachers are being transferred to the general fund from at-risk funds per MDE requirements. All of these items total $1,865,000. After total reductions and transfers of $2,013,000, the amount available for new investment totals $4,142,000. Additions to the general fund include a new cybersecurity position to enhance district security over technology and the transfer of the subscription for the Raptor visitor management software from Section 31AA funds, which expired at the end of this school year. Funds are also added to each high school for participation in national competitions such as mock trial and DECA. Compensation adjustments, which are subject to negotiations and cannot be unilaterally determined, include step-level increases costing approximately $1,745,000 and base pay increases of 1.8% with a cost of $2,094,000. Total general fund investments total $4,118,000. This leaves a projected increase in the general fund balance of $24,000. Next, we're talking about projected 26-27 at-risk funds. At-risk funds received a large increase once the State Aid Act was finally approved in October 2025. We project surplus funds of $1,996,000 at June 30th, 2026. And the governor's budget included an increase of 6% for the 26-27 school year, totaling $844,000. So projected total available funds for 26-27 are $2,840,000. These state funds are restricted and can only be used for specific purposes. Programs that have been cut from the general fund and our allowable expenses will be funded with at-risk funds. These include 1 home support specialist, 3 climate and culture coaches, 1 teacher mentoring coach, 4 promising pathways teachers, 2 counselors, and security costs. These costs are partially offset by the transfer of the multilingual teachers to the general fund. So net transfers total $1,865,000. New programs added to at-risk include additional elementary instructional intervention teachers. They're formerly reading recovery of 2.5 FTE. 2 middle school strategic ELA and math teachers, 2 additional home support specialists, and the reclassification of a 1.0 climate and culture coach from building at-risk funds. After adjustments for the reduction of OPEB normal pension costs, a reserve for compensation increases less vacancies, and other miscellaneous adjustments, new investments in at-risk total $960,000. This leaves a projected increase in the at-risk fund balance of $15,000. So this is a graph of ending fund balance as a percentage of expenditures and outgoing transfers compared to the state average. KPS is the green line and the state of Michigan average is the blue line. And as you can see, KPS's fund balance percentage is projected to continue to be below the state average, with the 2026-27 percentage projected to be 19.62% and the state average being 25.35%, which is the most recent year available. As average monthly district payroll and accounts payable costs are approximately $18 million, the projected fund balance would last a little over 2 months. We have not had to borrow for cash flow since 2021, saving between $200,000 and $300,000 annually in interest costs. And as you can see, the district's fund balance has essentially been flat over the time period shown, demonstrating that the district has done a good job in balancing its budget each year. I always include this slide in my presentation just to remind people of the reasons we maintain an adequate fund balance. Is to mitigate state funding cuts due to a recession, federal program funding cuts, unexpected decreases in enrollment, unforeseen school building issues or weather events. We avoid borrowing for cash flow, and we get a higher bond rating, therefore lowering our borrowing costs, as most rating agencies prefer a 15 to 20% fund balance. And as always, maintaining an adequate fund balance allows for consistent programming in good times and bad, ensuring that today's kindergarten student will graduate with little disruption as possible throughout their educational career. And lastly, the district is fortunate to have all stakeholders committed to working together to have a balanced and stable budget. In the future, as state and federal revenues face additional constraints, the district will need to continue its focus on increasing student enrollment, pursuing additional funding sources, and encouraging state decision makers to adequately and equitably fund school districts, along with reviewing district programming to ensure student needs are being met through the efficient and effective use of public funds. Thank you.
Thank you. The Board of Education may not adopt its proposed 2026-2027 budget until after the public hearing. A copy of the proposed 2026-2027 budget, including the proposed property tax millage rate, will be available for the public inspection by appointment only at the Office of the Business and Finance of Kalamazoo Public School District, located at the Administration Building here at 1220 Howard Street in Kalamazoo. So with that being said, is there Trustee Hill or Trustee McGlynn?
I have a few just points or clarifications. One of the things that affects our budget so much is our student count. And I do want to do a shout out to the fact that last year we budgeted to lose 149. And what actually happened is we gained 157. So in a situation where we have decreasing birth rates, it's more impressive too, because we projected those numbers knowing birth rates are going down, yet we're still building up our student count. So I think that says a lot about what we're doing in the district and so forth. I also want to make the point that our budgets are interesting in the sense that so much of our budget is staff. That doesn't really change. I mean, we have to have the staff in place. And so when we're doing these budgets, what we're doing is we're taking our last year's budget and we're looking at all the ways it changes in this next year. And then we make conclusions about what's best way to spend the money. And many a times what we're spending that money on are staff and support of the students. So we are in a different situation than, say, a city building. And then also the fact that we have to kind of guess because we don't really have final numbers. So I really do appreciate it. I know it's confusing in the sense that sometimes we're taking money from general fund and putting it at risk. So it's not really changing what we're providing in the schools, but we're just using different pots of money to do that. So I do appreciate that. and then also just really support that we have had such great support of our community backing us up on bonds and moving forward. So
Thank you, Trustee Scholler-Barber.
Sure, I'm going to be quick because I hear there's some inclement weather coming, so I don't know. But I really, these are all compliments. We all know that schools are based on relationships, whether it's the bus driver, whether it's the person in the lunch line that's helping you out, or a parapro. So that larger portion of your pie is a really important part of our budget. And I'm glad that we're aware of that and that we're announcing that we are a relationship or employee driven budget. Also, your fluidity of moving things around such that we can get the most out of whatever funds we have. I think that's brilliant, and I really appreciate you doing that because we are going into some really tough years probably. I also think that compliment you on you and your department on your enrollment projections and compliment the whole KPS staff for 157%, 157 student increase is significant, and it says a lot about the work that's being done. So, and thank you for your on point projections. I also like the part where you're talking about mitigating the differences and making sure that there's little disruption of the learning process, which is what we are about. And you are very careful to make sure that from kindergarten to graduation, it's as stable as it can be. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Trustee Hill.
I would just like to ask a few questions. So I'm glad that we are, or say a few statements, increasing our tech presence, and I think very important to the safety with technology, and that includes the Raptor system.
That's the visitor management system that is at the offices on each of our buildings, where you present your driver's license and our screen to be a visitor into our buildings.
That's what I thought, because I've done that before. Okay, that works really well. I think that's very helpful. On me that 87.4% of our income comes from property taxes.
Well, that's state aid and property taxes and the funding formula.
Thank you.
So I just have a couple of things to say. I think that it's so interesting that all of us have different parts of the budget that speak to us. And I think that in addition to all of the things in at-risk funding and you moving the money around and doing what you do, I know that we spend a lot of time getting our students prepared for college, but I appreciate the intentional effort that we are putting in making sure that our students that decide to go into the workforce are workforce ready. So the increased CTE presence and the support for the CTE Center from this district is really, really near and dear to my heart. And so I want to thank you always for making sure that when it comes to our budget, that there's no questions about if we're doing what we're supposed to do. I really appreciate the diligence that you put and look forward to these presentations because I learn more and more about how fortunate we are to have you. So, no more questions? All right. We vote next time. Yes, Trustee McGlynn.
just so everybody's clear on the process. So do you want to explain that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we've had this meeting today that we've gotten that information. Information is available. You could definitely look. We are required by law to have our last year's budget on our website, which is there. That's the basis for this. And then these are the changes that we're making. And then we're required by law to then put that, once we approve that budget, it goes back up on our website. So we'll be we have 2 weeks before our next meeting. We will have, if there are any comments from community or stakeholders, they can do that via email. Or they can come to the budget meeting before our next board meeting, and that's when we'll vote on the budget.
Thank you. Next up, Seeing no further questions or discussions, next up is the MHSAA 2026-2027 membership resolution. Trustee Shola Barber.
I can make a motion.
You surely can.
This is so near and dear to my heart. I move that we become members or continue our membership in the MHSAA organization for the 2026-27 school year.
I need a second. I have a motion from Trustee Shola Barber with a second from Trustee Johnson. Any discussion? Trustee Shola Barber.
I just have to say, and I'm going to say it in just one sentence, this is really an important part for many, many of our students. And if you saw the signing at either of our high schools, or if you attended swim meet or the field day, the track and field day for fifth graders, this is a component of our achievement.
Trustee Johnson.
Self-discipline into your education, because honestly that's what we look at, doing a sport is adding a little health, a little workout, what I'm saying, not necessarily required for you to go to the next level in your life, but definitely a installation of self-discipline and self-achievement, because you're able to push yourself with a group of individuals to be better physically. So I'm excited to see it and for it to continue.
All right, roll call. Trustee Johnson. Yes. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Shola Barber.
Yes.
Trustee Payton.
Yes.
Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
And I say yes. Moving forward, there's no persons requesting to address the board. There's no other business. Any comments by trustees? Trustee McGlynn.
I just want to congratulate all of our graduates this year. It's always so fun to go to graduations and see the excitement on everyone's faces and families that are so happy to see their children succeeding. A big, huge shout out for all those people behind the scenes that do, and a lot of it is our staff. There's volunteers and stuff, but there's a lot of work that goes behind these events. And I can't really even put a number on the total number of year-end events we have. There are so many. Every grade has them. They go on, and it's just a lot of energy. And I know how much it means to our kids and how special it is for them. And so just a huge shout out to our administration, to our teachers, to our staff, for all the hard work they put into making it so special for our kids.
Trustee Johnson.
Oh, congratulations, graduates. I usually don't attend unless it's via satellite. And what I see on the parents' timelines are I don't know, a celebration of education is important. We've been incorporating it in the school system more, and I'm excited to see it with us taking the children on excursions, outdoor events, and to see something that they usually don't get to see among their friends. It's different when you go to the same place with your family than when you go with your whole class. Like, I've been here with my mom, and she had other rules than the teacher got. So I got a chance to be more fun with my friends. So I'm excited about that. I know that we're going to grow that. And now for me over the summer, because the kids are not in class, please, a little more grace on the parents, because they're doing a lot. They're transitioning back to owning their own children's time, right? And they can be a little bit frustrated right about now because the refrigerator was not prepared for their departure.
Arrival.
Okay, arrival. Yes. So be a little more grace on the parents. Also, please, I know and we started this summer thing, and we are seeing a lot more people videotaping violence rather than calling the authorities. And these are adults. please don't contribute to that because it is affecting our youth tremendously. They already watching people that are making money from fighting on television. And then you have community members who gladly record it and post it. You are contributing to the violence. You are not helping. Please stop. This summer can be very positive and it can also be very detrimental. But it's the community that chooses. It's not your elected officials. It's not anybody outside of your own home, really. So please be mindful. As you see things happen, report them, not record them. Okay? Was it? Well, happy summer to the teachers who leave the day that they close their classrooms down. Okay. We look forward to seeing you again in the fall. We appreciate your hard work. Every child that is promoted is because of you. Every child that wants to come back is because of you. So please enjoy yourself and take the best care of yourself for the next 90 days that you can. Please, because we need you to come back full and ready to deal with a new group of children. Pay attention to there are so many community events that are going to pop up. Just watch all bulletins, pay attention. You know, the radio usually put it out, 1025 put them out. And of course, now Kalamazoo puts the community events out in the front. So please pay attention to those because there's a lot going on. I haven't been here for a month, so this is all of my announcements. Also, we've been talking about the library. I think it wasn't reading together. It was one of the kids that we just talked about where we got a chance to read to the littles. Yeah, everybody know it. It's just it's my head, not my heart. Party in the park, and that is always a good time for the library as well. And so for me to be a part of the collaboration between the library and the school is so dope. It is a blessed position to be in. But also because we all care, right? We are going to be working with the library, a lot of our community organizations, to unearth the story this summer, because that is our theme. And that is about them finding the story that lies right in front of you, digging it up and getting more information. So I'm excited about that too. And I think that's it. Oh, the Back to School Jam is August 29th. We do have a date. For the Back to School Jam for Young Kings and Queens is August 29th, literally the Saturday before school is. We hope to see you all there. We are taking resource table registrations right now. So if you want to register, it's on our Facebook or on our website. You can come and register and we'll get in contact with you to make sure that you have placement and that you are well taken care of during the event. Thank you.
Trustee Payton.
Trustee Johnson, I'm surprised you didn't mention Power at the Powell or Powell at the Powell, and I don't know the date, but it's something at Alma Powell Library for kids. When is it? Okay. And I also, in addition to that, want to say that parents, if you're interested in finding things for your kids to do this summer, I know people in the administration and district office were putting together a list of different activities in the community that are available. And where would a parent find that list?
They can come to Student Services or look for it in our next KPS News information. But we have a list prepared.
Thank you.
And Alma Powell Summer Celebration is Tuesday, June 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. at 308 West North Street.
Trustee Shirley Barber.
I just want to ask, would Dr. Justice please explain a little? Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Thomas, could you explain the books that are being sent out, please? I could do it, but I think you could do a much better job.
Oh, the summer reading books.
Yes, please.
So this year we were fortunate to share 3 books for the summer for for all students in K-5. Along with those books is a workbook. It's a included in the workbook are questions that parents can ask their children. There's activities also surrounding the books, not just related to questions, but there's puzzles and things like that. But really, an opportunity for students to really engage with the adult in their life or their caregiver around books.
Thank you so much. And that ties into what Trustee Johnson said about the library. So please, whoever's spending time with the children, printed word, games, anything that you can do. Also, I want to shout out about the Eat Up and Meetups. Where would they find a schedule or a list of those? On our website. And so there's no reason for anyone to be without. And that's also maybe a little bit of a social place to go or whatever. So we're taking care of the reading, we're taking care of the food, and the city is taking care of activities. Plus, there'll be more activities listed in Excelsior. So I'll end with thank you so much to the entire staff, to senior leadership, to Dr. Slade for a very successful school year. I know there's lots of work to be done and miles to go before we sleep, but we're in a good place right now. Thank you so much. Have a safe summer.
Trustee Hill.
I think everyone said all the wonderful things, but I just want to say I so enjoyed the graduations. I enjoyed the teachers were so into watching their students crossing the stage. If it was just a ceremonial flying up to 9th grade or graduating high school, but also to watch the families and the excitement with the students. And I just want to say that I know a lot went on behind the scenes. So I want to thank everyone we all work together for our kids, and it shows. Thank you.
Trustee Murphy.
Pretty much everyone said everything I had on my list. So just yet another congratulations to all of the students who moved up to high school or graduated onto the next step in your lives. And I hope everyone has a safe summer. Thank you.
And then there was me. Everything on my list has already been said. So I just want to go with my fellow trustees in saying that I enjoyed this graduation season. I'm really excited about the district kitchen. I appreciate all of the effort that was put in to make sure that students had an enjoyable end to their year. Wanted to take the time to, of course, thank all of the parents and students and all the things that go along with it, but really want to take the opportunity to thank the administrative team for a wonderful school year. One of the things that I challenged our secondary and elementary superintendents to, and I would like to challenge every teacher, parapro, every person that has played a part in this district, is to find something for yourself to do, to celebrate yourself for what a wonderful school year. I think that it's important that sometimes we just take a break to celebrate our own accomplishments. So I'm challenging every employee in this district before June 30th to find something to celebrate yourself. And with that, Superintendent.
I want to thank the board members for their amazing comments to close the school year, but also to start the summer. So I think great comments this evening. I do want to close by saying I want to thank Ms. Kaiser and her whole team for their work with the budget. I know we presented the budget tonight, but it's a year-long process. It's something that's ongoing. I just want to thank you again for always having a high-quality budget, and I know we're always recognized by the state, so just thank you so much.
I need a motion to adjourn. I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. We will see you back in this space on June 25th at 6:45, correct? Yes, at 6:45.